Well, are you ready to do some real gardening? Finally, we're getting that first batch of tomatoes in today. But before we do that, I want to thank everybody who came to the plant swap and giveaway at Sorgles, especially my friend Harry, who's also a member of the Seed of the Month Club, and gave me this little fig cutting to replace the one that I lost over the winter. As I said today, the big job is getting those tomatoes in the ground, the first batch. That's one little trick. We're going to try and do it in a way that's going to prevent the fungal diseases that they get. Follow me. Well, you might remember last year I made a pledge that I was going to have a better year for tomatoes. I put manure down here. It's all mellowed now, good to go. And I'm even going to add a little bit more. I'm going to add some of this tomato tone, only just a little bit. It only needs about half a cup maybe. And I'm going to mix it in. Tomato tone is a great organic fertilizer for tomatoes from Espoma. And I use a lot of their stuff, and we've got really nice soil here. I said manure and compost, and this is one of my favorite tomatoes of all time. It's the one I was giving away, one of the ones that I was giving away at the seed swap or plant swap and giveaway. It's called Limbaugh Legacy Potato Top, and it just makes amazing, beautiful, huge heirloom tomatoes. One of the tricks that I'm going to do here is to prevent fungal diseases is take off these bottom leaves. And that's because there are fungal spores in the ground. They're always going to be there. And we want more distance between, I'm probably going to take this off too. We want more distance between where the fungal spores will be and the top of the plant. And we're just going to put that down here. Whenever I plant anything, I always leave a little bit of a depression here so that it can catch water. And then again, the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is put a little mulch on here, and that again is going to prevent those spores from getting up onto the plant. And we're not going to wait to water this until all our plants are in. We're going to water them one at a time. Soak it in, and then I'm going to get my tomato cage on here right away, and that will be it for this tomato until we start picking. I bet you that tomato tone is going to do a number on this tomato. Well, these tomato cages are made out of concrete reinforcing wire. I find it at the hardware store, and it comes in a roll. It might seem like overkill, the size of this thing, but I'm telling you what, in about 2 months, it's going to be completely filled with tomato plant and hopefully tomatoes. And it's one of the things, again, that I'm doing to try and prevent fungal diseases. This gives great air circulation for the tomato. You know, if you like to stake them, that's fine. That's the way you can do it, but this is the last thing I'll have to do. That plant's going to grow up there, and then we're planting on a minimum 3-foot centers. If the plants are too close together and one gets disease, it's going to give it to the other. I'm going to put in another potato top, and then a Heart of Italy, and then Atomic Grape, and then Dark Galaxy. So let's get to work. Heart of Italy was found by my daughter actually one year. Be sure to put the label in so you know what it is, but it's become one of my wife's favorite tomatoes. And that's a nice big one, grown out of my greenhouse. So these Atomic Grape tomatoes coming out of my greenhouse have got leggy. We talked about it last week where I don't have enough sun when we get to this time of the year, and so they start to stretch. And we're going to do something I love doing called horizontal planting. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this root out here, and I'm going to remove all these leaves like I did before, only this time I'm burying that stem. You can see that whole stem is going to be underground. Well, it's only about 1 inch down, and this will come up on its own in one day. And so now it's close to the water and it's close to the heat, two things that these tomatoes love. And then we'll just stick the cage right on top, and we'll do this one horizontal, and then we've got a couple more to finish up. The real trick to having disease-free plants is getting this first planting in, but continuing the succession planting and leaving room in other beds to plant later in the season when it's nice and warm out. When it's June and even into July, you can get some early plants in, and they will not be affected by early fungal diseases. Hopefully these won't be either. You know, we're doing the right thing, but if you get a season where it's cold and wet continually, you're going to get some fungal issues. All right, let's finish up this job. One of the advantages of doing that horizontal planting is this will all become roots. and those roots will be very close to the surface where we want them. It feels so good to have the first batch of tomatoes planted. All right, we've got some more stuff to do in the garden. Meet me over there by those tulips. They need some work. So for the most part, I consider tulips to be annuals. I put the bulbs in every year, but these in this nice little vegetable bed keep coming back. And one of the things to do to make sure that they do come back is called deadheading. We don't want the plant to be putting on big seed heads like this. We want its energy to go down into the bulb, and so deadheading is just basically removing that seed head. You know, these are done. That guy's still doing his thing, but these are done. And you can see I've got some other ones in here that have been done for a while. And when we get those seed heads off, hopefully these will put enough energy into the bulb to get them blooming again. And we're just going to put vegetables. That's what we did over there with the tomatoes. In between these bulbs, as they decline, the vegetables will grow up. Not sure what we're going to plant in here yet, though, but it'd be nice to have the space. All right, I've got a couple more things to show you in the garden before we're done. This is one of my favorite late spring bloomers, and there aren't many plants you can say are deer proof, but this one is pretty much deer resistant. It grows outside the fence and has these beautiful airy blossoms on it. Comes back year after year, and it doesn't need anything from us. Well, one question I get a lot this time of the year is this a weed or a flower? Well, what do you think? To me, that's a flower. To some people, that might be a weed. I don't know what its name is. I don't want to know, and I don't care. All I know is it's beautiful. It came up on its own, and to me, that's a flower. All right, let's finish up. I wonder if it smells. Yeah, it has a good fragrance too. I won't be putting my peppers in until next week, maybe even later. They really like it hot. There's plenty of time. No hurry to put in tomatoes, peppers, other tender crops. Memorial Day is usually the time we want to get things in by, but there's plenty of time after that. Now, be sure to check me out online. Lots of other great gardening info there, and also you can find out where I'm going to be. I'm giving away lots more plants all around the area. Until next week, I'm going to get this fig in the ground. We'll see you then.